well. Look who's back.
Well.
Look who's here to be entertained, are you? Looking forward to having some fun, are you? Well, me old bucko, are you in the right or wrong place, depending on what you're looking for? Because this is Hack the Dino. We're a gaming cast. We bring you the past, present, and future of video games news. But Floppy,
Yes, mate.
what happens when I'm bored playing games?
You play board games.
Oh, did that hurt?
A little bit.
Yeah, I bet it did. That's right. When you're bored playing video games, why not try some board games? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight on Hack the Dino. But, Floppy,
Yes.
me, being Ben Rosenthal, the man who continuously forgets to introduce himself.
Always. I've never heard who you are.
Never tell everyone. We are brought here tonight because our regular co-host Anto is missing
Yeah.
in cyberspace.
Yes. Surfing away.
So you might remember last show, Anto was surfing, carving up those waves on his keyboard surfboard.
He would have a keyboard surfboard.
He would. He'd hang 10. Unfortunately, he was too tubular. And
Too gnarly?
Too gnarly and just flew off the lip of a wave. And because it's cyberspace and it's a vast nothingness of ones and zeros, I should say. Ones and twos is the sequel.
Sequel to the internet.
Anto is now lost in actual cyberspace. Last time they saw him, he was around Cyber Neptune.
He's been tronified?
No, nothing that cool.
Sorry, Anto.
No, it's just where he is. He hasn't found Cybertron yet. Because that's where the Transformers live! Oh, yeah! Anyway, Braden's here.
Hi.
What do you think of my puns, Braden?
Oh, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a great moment to talk about how there's a new Transformers comic coming out. So,
Comic?
yeah, have you guys seen this at all? There's a new Transformers comic coming out from Daniel Warren Johnson. He's a great lad.
Right.
And his art is absolutely nuts. And they've got a new Transformers comic coming out, also tying in with a new G.I. Joe comic that's coming out.
I watched the new Transformers film.
Oh, yeah?
The Beast Wars one.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It's pretty bonkers, hey?
Yeah. It's great.
It's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. The Transformers looked cooler. They transformed cooler. And it was fun.
Yeah? What do you think of Pete Davison?
Who's that?
He's, what was his name? Blitz? Something like that?
The main guy's buddy.
The one who dies and then he puts on his carcass.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit, how you going? Mirage. He played Mirage.
Mirage, yeah.
Yeah, Mirage is one of my favourite Transformers.
Nothing like one of your best mates dying and you harvesting their parts
I've
and wearing them.
I've always told my best mate Watsy, when he dies, I will wear his skin in his honour.
What was that game we made that we wanted Michael Towns to make?
Oh,
Did a whole podcast on it.
Shoot.
It was about a dinosaur called Hack. And the main character was a dino. And he was up against some Kirby world.
Oh,
We've got the podcast there. It's in our podcast
we
feed.
made a game.
Marshmallow. That's right.
Wow, I can't remember anything about that.
Marshmallow was the bad guy. And it was Hack the Dino was the main person.
Yes.
Dylan Villan said he defeated a black belt in Taekwondo. So, too bad.
You're a black belt, aren't you?
I'm a third dan black belt who's trained in Japan and won competitions. So
there you go. Just want to know how good Ben is at karate? Ask him. He'll tell you.
I'll show you.
Townsy made a prototype.
What? I didn't see that.
One-screen Marshmallow prototype.
What?
Can we see that?
Yeah, we're going to get on that, Michael Towns.
Can we see that now? Is it anywhere that we can see?
Next show.
Next show? All right.
Floppy.
Yes, mate.
We've got a little challenge.
We have.
It's a little $20 challenge.
Someone call it a retro challenge.
A little retro challenge.
A retro.
What's going on with the retro challenge? What is it? Who do we do it? Where's
Who do we do it? Your retro challenge is very different to mine then.
For only $20.
Hack the Dino body pillows.
Mate, I'd do it for 10. All right, so we have a retro challenge where at the start of this year, Braden, Anto, Ben, and myself, we all went out together. We had $20 each, and we went secondhand shopping and hunting for retro items that were from 2008 and before. Whatever we did with that $20, we would then take those items and we could trade and or sell them on to bigger and better things, hoping to come up with the coolest haul by the end of the year, which would be voted, of course, by you at home.
That's right. It's not whoever has the most or the biggest or earned the most money. It's nothing about that. It's who's got the coolest items.
Yes.
And that'll be voted later in the year. So we're looking at all of this. Oh, Braden, you may not know about this. We're thinking of revealing what we have during a supposed live show that we might be having in November that we haven't officially announced yet. So
Only unofficially leaked.
yeah, so probably you want to have all your stuff done and dusted by the end of October.
Can do.
So, Floppy,
Yes.
what have you had?
Do you want to do me first?
Yeah, always. Look at that face.
Woohoo! So I did actually make some progress this week.
Oh,
Like quite a bit, actually.
hey.
I bought a copy of Blood Bowl, the board game.
Nice.
Can I say where from?
Nah.
No. Okay. I bought a copy of Blood Bowl.
Yep.
Which
price?
was cool. I was
Good price?
Yeah, quite a good price. To be honest, had no idea what it was kind of worth at the time. Had a look at the condition. To be all honesty, I bought it because I was going to play it, and then I realised how complex it is, and I just don't have the time or the effort to learn another complex game. But Blood Bowl is made by Games Workshop, and it is so imagine if Warhammer was American football.
Cool.
That's what Blood Bowl is. And I didn't realise there is a huge community for it,
Yeah, right.
of which I knew some people
Oh.
who like Blood Bowl
Who were ravaging for it?
and had things to trade for it.
Ooh, what did they have to trade? Now, can you reveal or...
There is one item in this that I'm keeping for the end of the retro challenge. There are other items that I'll reveal.
So you got a piece for your endgame then?
I got a piece for my end game.
Ooh.
Damn. I got an end game piece that I'm hanging on to. For
He's
this.
Excellent.
collected
So
one
it's
of
going
the
to stay
stones.
under wraps. I got some other pieces that came with it. I feel like although I'm not going to trade them on, I'm going to reveal what they are.
Yep.
So
Are you going to keep those pieces that you trade with it? Or?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
I get first dibs.
I got 3 NES games
That's why I get first dibs.
and mystery item.
Ooh.
The 3 NES games were not boxed, but they were sleeved, and they were
That's the safest way to be.
yeah, sometimes 2 sleeves.
Really?
That's actually worse.
What?
Sorry, I can't have bad advice going out like that. If you use 2, they're more likely to break.
We're talking about sleeves.
Yes.
Sleeves.
Sleeves.
Okay.
Penis sleeves!
Wow.
Were you not aware what Braden and I were talking about?
Yes, I was just
Okay,
joking.
good. So you're too naive and innocent at times, Floppy. I don't know
Yeah,
if I've corrupted
absolutely.
you enough yet.
That's me. That's me. You know me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Innocent in the ways of the world.
Braden, how innocent would you say Floppy is?
On a scale of 1 to hell,
See, I would have said on a scale of 1 to gonorrhea.
It's syphilis.
You don't need your nose. What have we become? We're talking about Retro Challenge.
So,
$20.
So after you've double banged your NES carts,
so NES cuts. So I've got Terminator 2.
nice.
Out of which I've recently decided I wanted to start collecting.
I was going to
Terminator
say,
games.
like, isn't that
That was very serendipitous.
that should be part of your final haul because
I hope
it's a
so.
part
Well,
of
I
your
will.
collection that you
Yeah.
basically got for a really good price.
All right, Donkey Kong.
Which one?
Yonky don.
One with like the orangey label.
Oh, so Donkey Kong Jr.
No, unless I read it wrong.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, I mean I'm trusting you on this one.
Yep.
And
do you know that's actually a pretty expensive game, by the way?
really
Yeah, it's probably a $40 cart.
cool. and shoot, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes, excellent. That's
On the NES.
about $30.
So whether I trade them on, whether I keep them for the end game, and haul, but there is one that I'm keeping under wraps and a mystery item.
Yeah.
I haven't told Ben.
You haven't told anyone.
anyone. It's good, and I've still got, some things that I haven't moved. I've got them up online and things. I've got some Looney Tunes figures. I've got a VHS of Alf, and I've got some stuff that I haven't.
That is
put
a
up there.
really good VHS. I'm actually
I know.
surprised it
No
hasn't
one
gone.
cares.
Yeah. Have you had anyone message you about it?
Not a soul.
I have noticed, and Braden, you might be able to back me up here. Not a lot of people are buying stuff at the moment.
Well, no, we're
Yep.
we're like teetering on the edge of recession.
Yeah, so it's been hard. I've had to go to eBay to sell some of my items.
Yeah, I'm currently in that boat as well now. Of just like, I don't have anything new, and all my old stuff just isn't moving.
Yep.
And
I
It's-
have. Sorry.
That Braden's just gone.
Nah. Shit.
What?
I have one of those Valinda model kits left out of the 3 that I got from when we were out.
Oh, yep,
Paddy's
yep,
market.
yep. The tanks and all that.
Yeah, I've got 2 VHS I forgot about.
Oh, that's right. You sold the rest? Or did you trade them?
There's one left over from that original day.
Okay, cool.
I've got some Looney Tunes figures. I've got a DS game. Or 3 DS games, sorry, Luigi's Mansion. And I've got 2 graphic novels, and I've still got $150.
Oh, that's pretty good from
kidding.
the initial 20.
Damn,
That's great.
you're doing real good.
Yeah, to be honest, I lucked out pretty well with the Blood Bowl,
Yeah, that's fair.
which I was not expecting, in all honesty, at all. And
When these bargains come up, you just have to jump on them.
worked out, fortuitous.
Braden,
When you have something that someone else wants and they have things that you want.
what's happening? You sold anything else to your dad?
Yeah, I just think about that for a second.
It's funny because it's like it's not a joke. Like it is a thing that happened. No, legitimately, have not moved anything at the moment. I've kind of been keeping my eye out to see if I notice anything I want to jump on, but yeah, I haven't seen a lot. I haven't had a lot of stuff moving. Sometimes that's just the way it goes.
Well, I got that mega haul a couple of weeks back with a lot of collectibles, and there was some stuff in there as well. But majority of the time, there is nothing out there. Absolutely nothing out there. Like savers now, none of the good stuff really goes out. You had a good find with a couple of $5 3DS games.
Oh, yeah, it was a while ago.
I mean, I found the Nintendo stuff,
yeah, but no one knows what that is.
but no one knows what that is.
Yeah, that's incredibly
Yeah,
niche.
I walked in and got Ace Attorney, Apollo Justice, and Luigi's Mansion 3 for like, I think it was all up about $13 or $12 or something.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, that's an insane.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, and considering Ace Attorney is like a $60 game.
Like, I
as well.
looked at that and I checked it front and back so many times because I'm like, I must be missing something.
Yep. Yeah, Braden, what else have you got? No. Do you know any of your final what money you're on at the moment, or
I know I'm around like 80 to 90.
that's still
And,
pretty
like,
good?
Yeah, I've got 80 to 90 that I can play with, and I've got about
People?
$100 in stuff that I'm hoping to sell.
Right.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Hopefully, if
I
I
had
can
no idea you'd
lower
done
that,
much.
and I can get it down, if I can actually move it for like 50, like that's better.
Well, just
than
remember,
nothing, so
the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair is on
Yeah.
the 2nd of October,
Mm-hmm.
which coincides nicely from when we need to start to be wrapping this stuff up.
that's very true.
So what I'm aiming for with mine is to have as much money as I can possibly have at the toy fair, and just go bananas.
well, I mean that's just how I like to approach toy fairs anyway.
Am I the only one with
also
an in-game
in
item
terms of the
already?
challenge.
No, I've got one.
Oh, you do too?
I've got an endgame item.
Mm.
But yeah, it's exciting times. I likewise, because we are getting towards the end game, I've become a lot more picky with what I'm picking up.
Yeah.
So early on, I'd be more than willing to sort of take a chance on something. If it didn't sell, I'm happy to move it on for whatever I got it for. Although I purchased a 1991, this is a couple of months back, 1991 Scuttle plush from The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $4.
Surely that I would have bought that thinking it would have gone nuts with the new movie and everything.
That's why I got it. That's why I grabbed it.
Didn't go
Could
nuts?
not move it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. In the end, I gave it to my sister, who's a massive Little Mermaid fan. So that one's just wiped off. I don't know how we put that in to the thing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's just a loss that comes out of your
Yeah, you
total.
just minus $4 out.
yeah, I guess. So I've got, things like I bought so far my most interesting find has been a $10 box of miscellaneous cards. And like there was a whole
that's
pack of the
right.
Jurassic
Was
Park
there
card.
AFL ones in there?
Yeah, there was
Formula One?
There was Formula Ones
Yeah.
that I sold to a guy whose father-in-law actually took those photos, so he bought them for $15.
That's wild.
That's like some story that I'd end up having.
Yeah, I sold the
Fuck,
Jurassic
damn.
Park set for $40.
Nice.
There was that's right. There was a Shane Warne. Shane Warne's a cricketer over here in Australia, or he was.
There's a lot of things.
There was a bunch of cricket cards in there, and I was going through there, and Shane Warne card was in there, so I looked it up. Turns out it was his rookie card and was worth like $30. So I ended up selling that and all the other cards for $35. I made like 200% profit on this box
this-
of cards.
Yeah, that's
little
pretty
box.
impressive.
But what
And
I've
that's-
also found,
That's the thing with like comics and everything as well. Like, you buy a box and hope that there's some bangers in there.
Well, I did find that. Remember, I sent you a photo, Braden, or it might have been in our Discord when I was at Savers, and they had a whole tub of comics there.
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
went through them. I've still got one. Well, I've got a couple left, but I've still got one left. It's the first fight and encounter between Wolverine and Deadpool.
Pretty hot right now.
At the moment, it's going for $80.
Yeah.
I'm going to see how long I can hold on to it for.
Because when that movie starts coming out, my
When
God.
does that movie come out?
It probably won't be until
long
2
time.
years. So either I have to make the decision as to if I'm going to sell it or if I'm going to keep it for my collection.
Townsy says he'll give you $8.
No,
I mean, it's a fair offer.
no, because I think I paid 10 for it or something.
Oh,
Well, no, it was in a pack of 3. So this had 2 comics, a comic in front of it and a comic behind it, was all bagged up. And
$8.50.
because I know my comic covers and what's expensive very well, I saw the cover and took a photo and sent it to King Kaiju and said, "Hey, can you see what comic's in the middle there?" And like these 3 comics were $10, and there was an $80 comic in the middle. But yeah, that's all stuff that I had
Essentially
purchased previously.
$3.35.
I'm not, again, as I say every show, I'm not going to reveal how much money I have to play with because it might give away stuff that I have purchased for the end game. Needless to say, if you watch my...
Ben now owns Nintendo.
I am your uncle that works there.
That's weird.
Well, didn't you have an uncle or know a kid whose uncle worked for Nintendo in school? Braden, did you have the
No.
kid whose uncle used to work for Nintendo or PlayStation?
So by the time I came around, unfortunately that was no longer a thing, but it was a very funny running joke, like in the gaming community.
Oh, it still is.
I knew about it from that joke, but no, we didn't have anyone claiming their uncle worked at Nintendo.
I did. I had a dude whose uncle
You were in
worked for
like
Nintendo.
that peak time
was that a
period for
thing?
that.
Yeah, it was absolutely
I
a
thought you
thing.
were being legitimate. Did I say that? I was like, I never said that.
No. I remember I was probably year 4 or year 5. There was a kid. This is the
Idiot.
type of kid who like just was the best at everything.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Oh, I could dunk. I just don't want to.
yeah,
No,
that type of kid.
The type of kid that's like, my dad could beat your dad.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of shit.
I'd always be like, you probably could, dickhead. Why would you do that?
See, I was a hothead. So I'd go, all right, let's see. Come on.
Oh, see, I was a smart mouth.
Yeah.
I'd be
Probably a
like,
better
of
way to
course
be.
he could. My dad's high. Like, what kind of claim to fame is that? Oh, look, I can kick a dead man.
Anyway, so
That went weird, sorry.
it's Retro Hunt.
Sorry,
Be
Dad,
sure-
if you're watching, I just told everyone you got high.
Head on over to hackthedino.com. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok to see all our latest updates. While you're there, jump in the Discord. Come on in. There's been a couple of people joining lately. Some person thought Floppy is the most gorgeous man alive.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Not wrong. And
I mean, who am I to argue?
it's a good time. So come on in, have a chat, say hello. We'll be there. Floppy and I usually greet you as soon as you come in, and then we'll talk about fun stuff.
I jump in there. Like, I'm not always as quick to it as I could be.
Story of your life.
I always take too long.
Story of my life.
No. Yeah, probably.
No, it is, because I was one of those people who, 10 years later, you realise someone was interested in you, and you go, oh.
Oh, I was totally talking about something else, and you didn't realise.
No, I did. I'm just, swerving
Oh.
it. I do euphemisms around here, Floppy. Speaking
I
of
do
euphemisms.
innuendo.
Speaking of euphemisms.
Yes, mate.
Floppy,
Yes, buddy.
if I'm bored playing video games,
Yes.
can't I try some board
You
games?
sure can. That was so lame.
Thanks.
Yeah, you can. We thought we'd do a little. I called it side quest because that was not lame.
No. It's going
Well,
to be...
it's when we deviate from the main story and you do a side quest.
Yeah, but I like horrible puns, and that's 100% going to be the title of this episode.
Board games.
Board of games? Try these board games.
Oh, jeez.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Braden, what'd you think of my pun?
Honestly, I zoned out.
Story of my life.
I was
Honestly,
I just
Sorry, I zoned
stopped
out.
listening, and I was looking through trying to find like the photos for what we're going to talk about. And I was just looking through, scrolling through, and then I heard Braden.
that was perfect.
Now everyone knows why I go, Braden, what do you...
Yeah.
Braden.
Yeah. It's because I'm in the middle of changing 8 screens back here.
Oh yeah, I did. Sorry, my voice went unnaturally high then. I did put photos into assets for each of these because
Yes.
apparently they take up a lot of space in the run sheet, which is weird. But yeah, I did think of this as a little bit of a side quest because we usually talk about our video games and things like that, and I thought, well, we also have some other interests, weird toys, stuff like that. And I thought this is
They're
a
in the
side
bottom
quest.
drawer.
Yeah, mate, I keep them in the top. Get to them real quick.
Too late. Took too long.
Oh Jesus! sorry, mate.
Yeah, he was there. I win.
He did. I thought I'd talk about board games. I am a huge board game fan. Ben, I know that you partake in a few. You've got a regular board game.
I do. Yes,
We'll
with
talk about that.
yes, friend
later
of the
on.
show, Sean Fuster.
Braden, I believe you're quite partial to the odd board game.
I do enjoy myself a good bit of tabletop.
Sorry,
You're right there, Governor.
Sorry, Oliver Twist.
Yeah, no, I do really like board games.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Is-
There's one specific one that I wish I knew other people who would be interested in
Is it
playing
on my list?
Let me have a quick look.
There's only 6 on there. I like you had to go to do that. Like, I'll just go downstairs. But yeah,
No,
funny
it
enough,
is not on there.
It's not on there. Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. Funny enough, I don't do multiplayer video games. Rarely, except for like Fortnite with you guys.
Yep.
Board games are the multiplayer video games I like to play. And there's tons of different ones. So like video games, board games have tons of genres. If you have not ever looked into them, if you have never gone into a board game shop, there is as many genres, if not more, of board games than you can get video games. You can get things like abstract games. And you've all played these. Abstract games are things that don't have a theme or the theme is not tied to the gameplay.
Connect 4.
Connect 4. So you can get Mario Connect 4. It's got nothing to do with Mario. It doesn't affect
I've
the
got
gameplay.
Mario Connect 4. I used to play with my daughter.
Okay, there you go. Things like chess, things like drafts, Azul, if you want to get into a little bit more abstract-y one, which is just to do with patterns and stuff like that. Stuff where the themes don't have anything to do with the gameplay. And we've all played those. Then there are things like area control games, things like Risk. So where you compete for space and to take over areas. I know you're pretty keen on Risk, specifically
Metal Gear.
which we should play that one day.
We should. I've never played Risk.
Have you ever played a deck building game? So this is a deck building game. This is I'm going to say no then.
It's like a TCG, right?
Kind of. It's like where you have everyone starts with an identical set of cards in your hand, and it's usually you battle with these cards, but you spend points that you get to discard some cards, pick up other ones, and you build the deck as you play.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, that's a deck construction game where
Right.
you build the deck before you play.
So what's the Pokemon TCG?
That's
Same
deck
thing?
construction. Yeah, so that's when you build a deck like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Pokemon, and you have a set 60 card deck or something like that before you play the game. The other one, you actually build the deck and change it as you're playing.
Right.
So that's a deck builder.
Okay.
They're very cool. They're also nowhere
What
near
if
as
you want to
complex.
just build a deck like out the back?
Like a big deck
Yeah.
or like a little deck? Well, you could even get a small deck and make it look bigger by trimming the bushes. Sorry. Not sorry. There are also games like worker placement ones, like Lords of the Waterdeep, Charterstone, if you've ever played those. And my favourites, or one of my favourites, campaign or legacy games. It's where you're playing through a story like in a video game. You can play through scenarios, standalone ones. There are RPG elements and things like that. They can get into dungeon crawling aspects. And all these things that you see in video games, you can do in board games as well. So I wanted to take some time, and I've even brought with me, well, most of them, my 6 favourite games at this point in time. Because, like everything else, tastes change and things change and all that sort of thing. So one of my favourite board games that I own, and that was my first foray into a board game that wasn't a Monopoly or something like that, is Firefly the board game. Check this out.
I don't care. I'm
Oh,
still
you brought it with
free.
you.
You can't take the sky from me.
That is Firefly the board game. Came out in 2013. It's based on the TV show by Joss Whedon, where you take control of your own Firefly ship. Now I'm going to put it down here where no one can see it. Thank you. You take control of your own little Firefly ship, and you can get Serenity in there as well. There's an expansion for a ship called Jet Wash.
Oh.
Yeah, it is that too. It was named in honor of.
Aw.
And
Alan Tudyk.
you hire a captain, you hire a crew, and then you can take jobs all over the verse, flying all over the verse to do things, to be able to meet objectives in a scenario that you play, and you can pick different scenarios. See that there? That has...
For the podcast listeners.
For the podcast listeners, what you're looking at is a picture of a universe with planets, and I'm going to go with there's probably about 5 people playing. So many cards on the table. Now, I've played this game with 4 people, and on my table that extends, takes up the entire bloody table.
Needed to move to a deck, mate.
A real big deck. But yeah, it's super fun. It is one of those ones that can take hours and hours. But you do it with a group of friends. You have dinner. You start the game beforehand. You play it along. Then you break. You have dinner. You keep playing. It's awesome fun. It is intense. Things can change. You have the Alliance in there, which are the government. So you don't really want to have ties with them. There are the terrifying Reavers that come along, and you do movement. Every time you do a movement, you flip a card over. You don't know what's going to be on that card. It might be you're all good. It might be, well, you got a little bit further. It might be, well, Reavers
Joss Whedon threatened your career.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
He sends Reavers after you. So if you haven't watched the show, Reavers are people that have lost their mind and now eat people and do weird stuff to their
Hollywood executives, am I right?
But yeah, really, really cool. Is that something that you think you would play?
I mean,
look at those ships.
it looks good. I just have a hard time at the moment because I used to really admire Joss Whedon and everything that he created. Like, I still love Buffy dearly to this day.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time now separating him from all this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, so there's still this nagging little thing in the back of my head. Like, it's like a betrayal. Like, this guy effectively lied to everyone, like presented this image of, I'm a big feminist and I'm all for blah, blah, blah. And that may be the case, but you're also a horrible person.
I understand that. I get a bit of that, but I also have to separate art from art because if I didn't, I wouldn't.
You do. You have to.
Like, I wouldn't read a comic ever because how many misogynist, horrible people have been around in, say, Marvel in the 60s and...
Oh, plenty.
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 In that case, then
apart
something
from
like
John
this...
Romita, he was a saint.
Apart from John Romita.
And Steve Ditko.
Yes, Steve Ditko.
And Jack Kirby.
And Jack Kirby. But yeah, if you do
You're
like
going to say
Firefly,
Stan Lee?
I was about to.
No, don't say
No,
Stan
that was
Lee.
my joke. I was
No.
like, Stan, maybe not. Did some horrible things, was horrible opinions on some stuff, but made some amazing comics.
They didn't even do that.
No,
anyway.
stole a lot of other people's work. But there you go. That's Firefly, the board game. If you want to aim to misbehave, you can go do that. 'Cause that's...
I will say, Nathan Fillion,
Oh.
how much charisma do you want, man? Just save some for the rest of us, buddy.
And Alan Tudyk.
Nathan Fillion one day took our table at a
Fillion or Fillon?
or whatever it is. He took our table.
Fillion.
Fillion. Like we were, he was in for a comic fair, and we were sitting at a table before the comic fair.
Yeah.
With some friends, and we were just finishing, and he comes up to us, and goes, "Oh, you guys finished with this table? We're just going to grab it if that's all right." It's like, yep, it's yours. It's fine.
I finished with that half. You can sit on it.
He's a very tall man. Very tall man. Yeah. Like 6'5" or something.
I met Alan Tudyk, and he was lovely.
Yeah?
Yeah, he signed the cover of the cardboard slip of my copy of Serenity.
Cool.
Which I don't know if it was like a backhanded comment for him or not.
Oh, he got paid. Who cares?
But it was really funny. This was at Supernova, I think, and I was looking at like a stall that had action figures and stuff, and there was a bunch of Firefly figures, and I had a wash figure in my hand, and all I heard from behind me was, "I'm not sure if I should be happy it looks like me or not." And I sort of turned around. I was like, "Oh, holy crap!" Now,
similar thing happened to me at a comic convention. So when I was younger, sort of, I think my first realization of the opposite sex was the original Jennifer from Back to the Future, because Marty McFly was cool and that was his girlfriend.
Yeah, was that Elizabeth? No,
Elizabeth Shue was the second one. This is the first. Anyway, I was at in a store at a convention, and I just hear this American voice go, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And because I was looking at Back to the Future DeLorean, I looked up and it was her. Oh. I was standing there and she's talking. She goes, "Oh no, I was in this movie. I was Jennifer, blah blah blah." And I'm just standing there.
You're like, uh huh.
I was like, well, that's kind of surreal. think I'll leave now. And we'll just leave it at that. Floppy, what's next?
Okay, next one is one that I've actually played. I don't have it here because I left it at a friend's house for them to play. This is my game that I play this week every year because this week is Shark Week as we film. And I played Jaws. Jaws is one of my favorite board games of all time, made by Ravensburger, who were really amazing through the pandemic because everyone bought their puzzles. They have really beautiful puzzles, but they have really beautifully aesthetically made board games. And I love Jaws. I'm terrified of the beach, but I love this movie. Ben, I think you would love this one because this is what you call asymmetric, so it's 1v many.
Oh,
so
like
similar, like Hero Quest.
Like that hit video game Evolve.
Yeah.
I was going to say like the Friday the 13th game that
Yeah.
we all played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, all of those sorts of things. So one person in this plays the shark. The other 1 to 3 people play like Brody, Hooper, and Quint, the 3 main characters.
Hooper!
Hooper! And it's divided into 2 acts. It's really clever. The first act, as we can see there, is on Amity Island, and the shark has hidden movement, so you don't know where it is. But you write it down in a little notebook, so you can't cheat. And it's really actually anxiety-inducing because as you're standing there, if you're the shark and all the other people are allowed to converse and they discuss what they're going to do, the turn order is not set. They get to do whatever they feel is the best way to do it. And so you see them pointing at things, and you know where you've said the shark is underwater, and they'll talk about that spot, and then they'll talk about a different spot.
So they'll point to a spot and go, maybe shark, do, maybe shark, do, maybe shark, do, maybe shark, maybe shark, do,
Do you know there's a video coming out for that?
Really?
Yeah, it looks
Sweet.
really bad.
Awesome.
But yeah, so while the player playing the shark is hidden underwater and doing all these things, everyone else is discussing where they're going, trying to sink barrels into them, and the shark's trying to eat beachgoers. And the more beachgoers you eat as the shark, the more better equipped with shark abilities that you get. You get shark superpowers.
Can you get a bigger boat?
You can eat the shit out of the boat.
Well, we're going to need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat. And then halfway through the game, it flips sides and changes, and it's not an Amity Island anymore. If you go to the next photo, it is on the orca, out in the middle of the ocean. The shark is trying to eat people and destroy the boat. The people are trying to kill the shark. If the people did really well in the first half and got 2 barrels in the shark quickly, they've got heaps of gear. Bullets and rifles and flares. And if they didn't, and if the shark ate a lot of people, they have nothing, and he can eat a lot of people really quickly and do a lot of damage.
This game looks awesome.
It is so fun. And it is a relatively quick game to play because it's sort of split into these 2 halves that you can only have X amount of things. Like you can't really drag it out. And it's great for the person playing as the shark. It's great for the people that are working cooperatively together. So it's got a little bit in there for everyone. I played it at a friend's house the other night, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. I've replaced the miniature of the shark. You can see him there. It's a little grey wooden miniature. They have these really nice like meeples in there. A friend of mine has a game store, and I found a giant D&D shark model with him like bursting out of the water, and I've painted it up real nice and everything with like translucent water effects. It looks sick.
Amazing.
But when they guess where you are, and then you have to, if you are there, you have to put this miniature on the table, and you slam down this giant shark that's bursting underwater. It's fantastic. I love it.
That's so cool.
Do you reckon you'd play something like that?
I'd give this one a go. This looks fun.
Would
Yeah,
you want
I
to be
love
would
Jaws.
you want to be the shark?
I wouldn't care. I just love Jaws. I think it's a fantastic film.
It is so good. Yeah, look at those little people. That's Hooper and his boat, and so all the characters have different abilities. Like Brody can't leave the island because he's scared of the water.
Do you get like bonus points if you tell people that they're going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you in the ass?
No, but on the bottom of each card that you flip over each turn to see where swimmers are swimming, it has a little quote from the movie, and tell me that you can't, but no one can read them out without putting on the voices. Everyone does it. It's amazing.
Smile, you son of a
Bitch. But yeah, that's Jaws, the board game. Highly recommend it. It's wicked.
I'm completely sold.
Fantastic. I want to play it with you.
Yeah, me too. Let's do it.
Do
it. Do it.
Another really cool thing I really enjoy when I'm having board game nights is putting a soundtrack on that complements the game that you're playing. So
That's good.
you can play the whole Jaws original like score.
In the time.
And it is terrifying.
One
Yeah,
of my
that'd work
many
well.
playthroughs of Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
I used to put on just random classical music and try and make my gameplay fit with the classical music that was playing. So you know that opera that goes do 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 do.
No.
And it's choral and everything. I was doing it at Fire Temple at the time. It was like big heavy hammers clanging and all this.
Did it just
stuff.
make you
It was great.
feel a little bit more immersed into the
Yeah,
game?
well, that was the same game that I named Link Mr. President.
What?
So
Mr. President.
they come up and go, Mr. President, we need your help. So it was the president saving Hyrule.
I didn't realize that one of the first Pokemon games I played, I can't remember which one it is, and you can name your adversary or
Yeah,
something like
you can do them all of that.
that. I called him Poopy McFace, and I didn't realize how much it was going to come up throughout the game, and it just kept saying, Poopy McFace says, and did this. It was hilarious. The next game I'd like to put out there is another one that's really heavy on miniatures. Like, I love stuff. I don't know if you've noticed. I love miniatures, and having things that physically move around on a board and look imposing is awesome to me. So this is a massive wallet and time sink.
I know, it's the only reason I don't have it.
This is Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Oh, this looks cool.
This is really, really cool. So once again, one person plays as the Empire or the Imperial player, and they run the game kind of like a dungeon master. But I have also learned since then, you can get an app that does that for you if you want to play as the good guys. And it means you can play it one player. You can play it on your own, and the
Smart.
app runs the game for you.
Wow.
I haven't done that. But anyway, so this is Imperial Assault. It came out in 2014. If you play as the Imperial side, you run the game, so you have access to information that the other players don't know, because you set up scenes with a whole bunch of like double-sided, different-shaped tiles to make almost never-ending forms of board. Like that's what it looks like. It's really, really cool. You then have up to 4 people playing as like Rebellion side, or like just call them the good guys. And there's scenarios that you play. So you can play this as a one-off scenario, or you can play it as a whole campaign, which means you, at the end of each scenario, you can upgrade your characters and they can carry on and buy new things, and you play it basically like an RPG.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's sick. Now, there are so many expansions for this. I know, because I hate money and I've bought a lot of them. But all the figures as well. A lot of the figures in these come as tokens, or a lot of the characters. You can then buy the extra figures to have a 3D version of it. But just so you're not wasting money, they actually come with a whole nother sheet and give you another scenario to play. And you can also do like skirmish raids where you can just get 2 armies and battle each other.
Yeah,
That's
right.
really cool that they make it worth it for you.
They do. I mean, they're still goddamn expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But they generally make it worth it for you. But every box of this feels really worthwhile, because, like, yes, it's a bit pricey, but you get a massive box that's full of heaps of tokens and dice and figures and just 2 books worth of stuff to read and things to play and different scenarios. So you're not playing the same thing over and over and over again. It's awesome. Would you play this one?
Yeah, because I love Star Wars.
You do love Star Wars. But yeah, so this is the base game. I've got ones that give you Boba Fett, that give you Jabba the Hutt, ones that are set on Hoth. And they never recreate events from the films. It's all like things that happened around in that universe.
Expanded canon.
Yeah. Whether it's canon or not, I'm not really sure. But they use a lot of that information from, I think it's called Legends now.
Yeah, I just want to... Yeah, so that's not canon. Oh, does that mean I can play as Kip Duran?
Probably. I'd have to check to see if there's...
Love Kip Duran.
Yeah, Imperial Assault as well as X-Wing. I'm constantly so tempted by those miniature ships in X-Wing.
X-Wing's been replaced now with what's called Legion. Legion being a bigger miniature, almost like Warhammer style thing, but with simplified rules and combat and things like that.
Okay.
But once again, sucked in by so many minis. I also play that.
Yeah, big time.
I am lucky enough that I'm friends with some people that own board game stores, so helps, because they have 2 bedrooms full of board games.
Wow.
It's like, imagine 2 of your game rooms, but just all board games.
Jesus.
Or board game paraphernalia.
And board games, as they, stop, like have first release, second release, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I assume they kind of like, I guess, rare books in that way. Like, if
They
you've got a
do.
complete, like, first edition that's worth a bit more than a 4th edition, or...
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything that, if you have, there's a market for everything, really, isn't there? But yeah, there are people who collect board games. You can get, like I spent a long time chasing the original Hero Quest.
Yep.
Which released in 1989. And I never got one because it was, even to buy an incomplete one, it was like over $300 and it was trashed. So yeah, there's a market for all of that sort of stuff. It's
I do know a guy who's got an original Hero Quest.
I'll tell you a story in a minute about a dude I know, and you think I'm lucky with finding things, man. This dude. Anyway, the next game was actually 2020's best-selling game of the year.
Wonder why.
Board game.
Can't imagine there'd be any reason why.
Pandemic. Had anyone played Pandemic?
Nope.
Yeah.
I lived it.
You lived it.
Well, had you played it before the pandemic?
No.
I had played it before the pandemic. I played
Yes.
Pandemic Legacy as well. Anto, I was sort of put this in for him. He's playing Pandemic Legacy with a bunch of friends at this point in time. Well, not right now, but at the moment he's got a Legacy version of this game going.
That's fun.
But yeah, Pandemic. So it's up to 4 players, and it's a cooperative game. So you all work together to beat the game instead of working competitively against each other. But it is really cool. There is a number of diseases that have broken out all over the world, viruses, if you will. And each player takes a role that has unique abilities, and you do things like travel around, treat infections, build research stations, cure diseases. You pick up cards each time that either help you or hinder you, or that big green card in the middle that says epidemic is terrible because it means you have to add all sorts of these little cool cubes that are disease cubes to the board. And it works like all the cities are connected, but if you have too many diseases in one of them, it spreads. So you might only have to add one thing, but then it might have this chain reaction that just watch your whole board just like become infected with disease.
Basically,
Exactly
walking
what
down
happened.
Hindley Street.
And coughing.
Yeah, sure, that's what I meant.
But yeah, it's really cool. I played it years ago and then played a legacy version. A legacy version is the same game, but you make physical permanent changes to the board and to the characters as you play it, and you only play it for a year and then it's done. It's finished. You don't play it again.
Jeez, don't you wish the pandemic went for a year and
I
finished?
know.
It
I
only
know.
went for 2 years and then it was finished.
And it was done,
no one-
gone.
no one needs to worry about it anymore, Braden. It's done. It's all finished now. It's all done. Everyone's happy. In fact, I don't think it ever happened, truth be told.
You don't think it ever happened?
No. I think it was a dream. It was a shared psychosis.
But yeah, that's Pandemic. Pandemic's wonderful. Unless it's a touchy subject now.
Clip that clip. Pandemic's wonderful.
Oh, there's Ben's next TikTok. Pandemic is wonderful. Love it.
Oh, you gave him a clean take that time. Good work.
Why do
Yeah.
I do these things?
Because you love...
Yes. The next one, I don't have the game here because it's at a friend's place. But I do have extras from it. Extra one. See, once again, I get sucked into minis. Do you like zombies?
I'm a fan.
You're a fan?
Yeah.
Would you like to be chased around a board by an ever-growing horde of zombies?
Well, I used to have a fitness program.
Chased by zombies?
Yeah. Basically, they played a thing in your ear and it tracked your running speed, and you ran and the zombies slowly gained on you. And as you
No
slowed
way!
down and got out of breath, the zombies, like the earphones, they came up
It would
to
get
you more and more.
Yeah, it would get louder
Yeah,
and
it'd
everything.
get louder until you were eaten because you couldn't run anymore.
I wonder how many people just like ran out into traffic and died because of this.
Well, I mean,
Jumped over fences that were just like 30-foot drops on the other side.
it was fun. It was a fun time. Zombie shuffle, zombie run, something like that.
I'm going to check that out. That sounds...
Yeah, it was a nice running app. It's a fun time.
I'll do it when I'm riding on my bike.
Yeah.
All
Zombies
zo-
can't ride bikes.
All zombies riding behind bikes. I mean, after me. But yes. Another game that I absolutely love is Zombicide. It came out in 2012, and there's been so many different variants of this that's coming out, and different iterations, and set in all different kind of timelines. This is the original one. It's set in today's time. You take the role of a survivor. You once again all work together. And you all have unique abilities and harness skills and teamwork against hordes of zombies. They're all played in scenarios. So once again, it's got like double-sided boards that you can put together to have different sort of maps and things like that. The zombies are controlled by pretty simple rules. So no one has to play as the zombies, and they're controlled by a deck of cards. There are a lot more zombies than you have access to bullets. A lot. And every turn...
Like Resident Evil.
Yeah. It's really like Resident Evil, a board game, though. You got to find weapons. You got to kill zombies. The more zombies you kill, though, the more skilled you get, which is kind of cool, right? but the more skilled you get, the more zombies appear each turn at these little spawn points. So you literally end up with like a horde of fucking zombies on this board. I've had ones where we've run out of enough minis.
That's a cool way to scale difficulty as you're getting stronger in the game.
It's really, really clever, right? And so then you have to try and do things like lead them through the buildings where they move slower. But the cool thing about the zombies is they always move towards the closest hero they can see, or to where the most noise is. And the noise is indicated by like those little yellow triangles that you can see on the board in front of us. Sorry about people listening. But yeah, super cool game. But once again, anxiety inducing to the max sometimes when you've got massive amounts of zombies and no way to get out. The original game comes with like 10 scenarios as well, so you can play heaps. But they've also made it so that you can download for free scenarios that they've made, like the company's made for themselves. And you can just download extra ones, or you can download and make your own. They created they released a creator tool.
Yeah, right.
So you can make your own. And that is something that's really cool. Like, yes, they've made heaps and heaps of expansions and just extra games that you can pay lots of money for, but they also support it with content that you can use for yourself. And I just think that's really cool.
That is cool.
And I would like to support that sort of stuff. And I have a collection of it's on upside down on the back of bonus survivors, and these guys are cool. And you can tell they're kind of based on people from like maybe Walking Dead and things like that.
So
they're legally distinct.
Yeah, they're similar to, but legally enough different from.
Sorry, just to point it out there is a lady with a blue shirt holding a red chainsaw. So draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, Ash. There's also a gentleman in a brown police uniform looking very Rick Grimes in there.
Anyway.
Yeah, but it's cool. Zombicide. But my last game has probably been one of my favourite games for the longest of time. And it is Hero Quest. And I did bring it, but I think it's too heavy to pick up because it's fucking
It's a big game.
It is a big game.
Big old
It is massive.
game.
I'm not actually going to pick it up. But this is Hero Quest. So this first originally came out in 1989, and I played it at a friend's house. And I fell in love with this. This was D&D that I liked.
It's D&D light.
Yeah,
it's D&D without all the maths.
It's D&D board game.
Yep.
You had the barbarians, you had elf, you had orcs, you had gargoyles, you had all this really cool stuff. And you had it in a dungeon. And it is played in such a way that you still have a game master or a DM, or he plays the evil or he or she or they play the evil sorcerer Zargon, and they run the game. So much like a few of the other games that we've talked about. But the cool thing about this, and it depends on how you play. If you find
treasure, they run the jewels.
They do run the jewels. And okay, that was a good one.
Thanks.
So this has the way you play this is it has like a fog of war. So as the characters leave a room or look down a hallway, the game master or the person playing Zargon will reveal furniture and other doorways and unopened doors and just reveal it as you explore. And I love that. I love that about this game. You go, you search for treasure, you upgrade your stats. Characters can die, you can create new ones. It comes alive because it has so many cool miniatures, including just furniture, fireplaces, all that sort of stuff. I really wanted to talk about this with you, Ben, because you are playing a homebrew version of this, are you not?
Yeah, I am. There's a group of us who are currently playing it with Sean Fuster and his friend Aaron. They're sort of trying to make their own version of it.
So how different are the rules?
Similar, but not. His big thing is Sean's got this rule of cool, whereas if he'll allow something if it is really, really cool.
I like that.
And they've
I like that a lot.
managed to incorporate some D&D type, like you can have critical hits and critical fails in it now, whereas you couldn't before. I won't go into it too much because I'm not sure how much he wants me to go into. But yeah, you can see it on the screen now. We've got our miniatures printed up.
Which one's yours? Bottom
right-hand corner, I'm a goblin.
That looks very much like Link.
No. So his name is Norsborn.
Norman Osborn.
Yeah, 100%.
The green goblin.
Yeah. So
are you going to paint him?
I'm petrified to, but two of the guys who I'm playing with have just purchased 3D printers. So now that they've done that, we're just going to go on a printing spree, and I'm going to, I think, try and learn how to paint.
I can teach you how to paint.
Yeah, I know. I've seen your models. You're very good at it.
There's an amazing thing called contrast paints, which paint shadows and highlights for you.
Yeah, I spent $80 on that figure, so I don't want to stuff it up.
No, that's the good thing is you can't paint. You can strip paint off. Like you can't break unless you physically break it. You can't stuff it up.
Yeah. No, I love that little figure. So he's an ice goblin, and we get to sort of like do little things like one of the moves.
$80. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I got into it. So one of his moves, like once you build up enough attacks or kill enough enemies, you get your special attack. And we were able to describe what it is. And mine, because I'm an ice goblin, threw just like darts everywhere, ice darts.
Ice
everywhere.
darts. That's cool.
And I went, no, I'm changing that. So now what he does, because he's an ice goblin, he fashions a small bomb type pumpkin structure that in his hand and throws that, and it explodes and then shatters out. So
I love that.
Yeah, basically does like I do a goblin like. And he throws it and explodes everywhere and kills people. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I think one time I managed to KO one of the mini bosses by myself because I got a critical roll.
Nice.
And because I used the crossbow a lot. Sean just said, all right, well, how do you do it? And I said, you ever read that comic of the Amazing Spider-Man where Spidey jumps around the Juggernaut just punching him heaps and heaps of times?
You
He
did
goes,
that.
yeah. He goes, yep, doing that, but he's putting arrows in him because he uses the crossbow.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's a super fun game. It is very homebrew friendly, so you can come up with your own rules as well.
They even in the main book of Hero Quest, it comes up with a blank map that you can photocopy. And well, back in the day, you would photocopy. Now you just print them off, whatever.
Yeah.
And come up with your own scenarios. I love this game. I like all these games. I'm very big on the ones that you can you can pick up and you do things with, and I think it gets you more excited about them. Like I get from this what I used to get from like people hanging mates around and just all jumping on a Nintendo 64 and playing multiplayer stuff.
I mean, as
eating
well,
and drinking while you do it. And
like I said, I spent $80 on my little figure, my miniature. I'm invested in that now.
yeah.
That's my dude. Like,
Yeah,
that's
is
my
you.
representation in the game.
So when you see, orcs coming up to him or something like that, like it makes you feel stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's like you don't want. So one game, I was being chased by a skeleton snake thing, and I just thought it'd be funny just to run away from it. So I spent the whole time just running away, and it was following me. And I spent the whole game just running away until I came up to the group, and I ran into the room and made them deal with it.
It's like, see ya.
Yeah, I didn't get much gold that game, but it was fun.
So yeah, that's some board games, and that's why I like them so much. And I reckon we should play. Like we've talked about playing a Hero Quest game.
Yeah.
I would love to run a Hero Quest game for the 5 of us. Oh, look at you all, you handsome folks.
Look at the two bald guys. You wouldn't believe I used to manage him, would you?
You guys have the exact same hair and beard.
Yep. But he's taller and much larger than me.
It's like one of the before and after things when they get the Mr. Atlas or whatever
Oh,
it is.
great. I'm the before. Fantastic.
He's massive.
He is massive. He's a big unit.
If you had someone smaller than you, you'd be the after.
Oh, God. No, I'd never be the after.
But yeah, we should play Hero Quest and we should play Jaws.
Yep. Braden, you'd be up for that, wouldn't you?
100%.
Hero Quest?
Hell yeah.
We've got to find another camera and we can find a way to stream it.
Yeah.
We'll hang it from a light fitting over a dining room table or something.
Oh.
Or that one.
Yeah, we can organise it.
There's
We
one
can do
up
it in
there.
here or something.
Would you guys like to see that? Would you guys like to see us play board games and get really nerdy and excited?
Yeah. Sound off in the chat. Subscribe. Leave a little bell.
I'm very impressed that there's a fellow there wearing a cool hat.
It's Tyler. Tyler Daniels.
Tyler, anyone named Tyler?
He's a
is
wrestler as well.
pretty cool. Is he?
Cool dude. They're all
There you
cool
go.
dudes.
That's my side quest on board games.
Nice. Speaking of games, it's time we played one. It's called You're All Ready for Quiz. Was called something else, but now we're not referring to it as that. 4 multiple choice, 2 from me, 2 from our producer level Patreons. I answer a question. Oh, no, I say that every time. I ask a question with 4 multiple choice answers. Whoever yells out their name first can have an opportunity to answer. Once I've finished saying all the possible answers, because I need to get my jokes in.
Yes, you do.
What you
should
doing
just
there,
put your-
Braden?
You should just put your jokes in the first one.
That's that app that you were talking about.
Oh, yes.
Zombies run.
Zombies run. That's it. I should do that again. I should start running it if my knees don't snap when I try to do anything
Oh,
physical.
dude, I get shin splints.
We have previously Brett from the Adelaide Comic and Toy Fair on 1 point, Jazz on 4. Braden, you're on 5, which is, I think, more than last year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Anto is on 18, actually 12, but I gave Anto bonus points because he was being a good person.
What was that for again?
I don't know. I think you annoyed me, so I just gave Anto points.
That sounds about right. I think I questioned something. Or
Patrick's on 12 and Floppy, you're on 22.
yes,
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I've had a good run.
But you had a good run last year, and what happened? The very last question.
That was ridiculous.
All right, here we go. First one's from Dylan the Villain. Are we ready? South Korea has a law that prohibits gamers under 16 from playing online games after midnight. What is that law called? A. Sleeping Beauty Law. B. Cinderella Law. C. Snow White Law. Or D. Alice in Wonderland Law. Brayden?
Cinderella Law.
You are correct.
Gotta be home by midnight.
That was
that's how you got it.
Was that
Gotta be
only
home by midnight.
last year that came in? I remember,
Yeah,
or the year
correct.
before. I remember that happening.
Yep.
I'm glad I'm. Yeah. That's wild that South Korea would call their law that.
I know. Based on a very Anglo-Saxon
Yeah.
fairy tale.
That's strange.
All right, here we go. Staying in
That's
South Korea.
That's a
Alright.
good question.
Oh,
Staying in
really?
South Korea.
Staying in South Korea.
Okay.
Which of the following Nintendo consoles was not released in South Korea? A. The Hyundai Comboy. B. The Super Comboy. C. Comboy 64. Or D. The ComCube.
Floppy.
Floppy?
B.
Super Comboy?
Yep.
Incorrect.
Ah.
Brayden?
I'm gonna go with A.
Hyundai Comboy?
Yep.
Incorrect.
Ah.
It was the ComCube.
No.
It had to be the first or the last.
So, South Korea banned Japan's import of electronic goods and toys.
yeah.
So they teamed up with Hyundai, which is a South Korea company, and they renamed the Famicom the Hyundai Comboy, the Super Famicom the Super Comboy, the Nintendo 64 the Comboy 64, and then ComCube
Wow.
was just me making up. I was going to do the obvious joke, but I decided not to. So I'm growing as a person.
Yep. There we go.
Can't
Good
figure
work.
out what the obvious joke would have been.
Well, I'll give you a hint.
Mm-hmm.
Super Comboy. Draw your own conclusions.
Am I dumb?
No, I just don't think you're as evil as I am. I'll tell you after the show.
Thank you.
Tell you when you're older.
Michael Towns!
Oldest one here.
Good old Michael Townsy. Good old
Michael
Townsy boy.
Towns.
Very nice of Michael Towns. Prefix this question with, feel free to edit it if you want.
So you do as per normal.
No, I didn't. During localization from its original Japanese release, the Game Boy title Final Fantasy Legend 2 had a certain item that was a tad adult themed. This was changed to be more child-friendly bananas in the West. What was this nefarious item?
Whatever it was in the top drawer, mate.
Was it A, cigars, B, condoms, C, opium, or D, existential dread coupled with chronic depression and a hint of sore knees?
Floppy.
Floppy?
Cigars.
Incorrect.
Fuck! Wait! No way!
Braden?
Is it condoms?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
Opium.
What?
Opium.
That's wild. Man, Donkey Kong would be such a different game.
Just all like laying down, just chasing the dragon.
All right, here we go. Last one. Floppy, you haven't got any this show.
No, this is bad.
Which of the following Mortal Kombat mini games isn't real? A, chess combat. Chess, but with blood. B,
Sorry, the tagline got me.
B, puzzle combat. A Tetris ripoff. C, metal combat. A Guitar Hero clone. Or D, motor combat. A racing game.
So this is which one's not?
Yeah, so I'll read them out again. You've got chess combat, puzzle combat, metal combat, or motor combat.
Floppy.
Floppy?
The Guitar Hero clone. Metal combat?
Correct.
Yes. Oh.
I thought I did pretty well to make
That
up
was
a
hard.
fake one.
Yeah. Well, my thought process was, which of those would be the hardest to develop?
Yeah.
Like,
As a mini game?
yeah,
wouldn't
that's
do
kind
that
of
as a
where I
minigame.
went too.
I was like, racing game. That'd be That's wild.
No, that's real. That's motor combat is a real thing.
Crazy.
Combat carts.
All right, so Floppy gets one. Floppy's on 23.
Hey.
With Patrick and Anto on 12, Braden on 6, Jazz on 4, and Brett on 1. But we have been Hack the Dino! Whoop, 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 whoop. We usually talk about video games past, present, and future, and all the little news, previews, and discussions that come with those games. But that isn't all we do. Floppy,
Yes, it is not all we do.
why am I yelling?
I'm not 100%
Very
sure.
excited.
It's really
Holy
intimidating.
crap. I cannot wait to, just live life.
Where'd that come from?
I'm not even sure. I don't even know how to follow that.
It's the end of the show. Like, normally the energy's at the start.
Usually it's just like, oh my God.
Anyway, Floppy, what else do you do?
I have an Instagram channel called Floppy Plays Games where I throw up pictures of things that I've picked up and try to play or aim to play. I've got a picture there of my son was so... I think this is when it started about me wanting to hook up other consoles. He really wanted to play a Spider-Man game on the PS2.
Yeah.
It was Web of Shadows.
Good.
Which is like the side-scrolling. There he is. Oh, what a cute little dude. You're allowed to show him. He's
Okay, I was
the most adorable little dude.
like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no. Look how happy he is to
I know,
have
look
a
how
PS2.
happy he is.
The next slide over is Floppy's address. So feel free.
And that's Dave Grohl in the background. Yeah.
Nice of him to babysit.
Well, he's a handsome and very well-adjusted man, Dave Grohl. But yeah, that was him playing the PS2. He was super happy that day. He was just like the happiest little champ ever. But yeah, I think the next one is quite a lot of stuff that I picked up from friend of the show, Ghost Games, including that controller that Braden has tattooed on their arm.
Hell yeah.
I especially like little backstory, top left-hand corner.
Yes.
At the Adelaide, one of the Adelaide Toy Fairs this year, before the doors opened, I went around and made a quick little video. And I posted it and put it up. And I'm walking around, and I reckon maybe a minute and a half after I post it, I get a phone call from Floppy. And he goes, hey, mate, about 23 seconds in the top left-hand corner of the screen, there's a Batman.
That's so specific.
Oh, dude, I was onto it.
And I thought, geez, is this me? So I went down. Unfortunately, the item had already been sold, so I couldn't get it for Floppy. But it was the last one you needed for your collection?
No, it's not the last one. It's just one of the ones I needed for the collection, but it's
Right.
the one I wanted the most.
Okay.
Because it's the Batman Returns. I think there's like 5 or 6 figures. I've got the Bat Missile carded, and now I've got Batman and the Batmobile carded.
Excellent.
There was also Penguin in his little penguin mobile.
The little duck.
Little duck.
I think I had that one.
And there was the Bat Ski Boat.
Bat ski boat. I had definitely had the bat ski boat.
But yeah, love that thing. And yeah, a couple of Team Raider 2 and 3 on the PS1, Soul Calibur on the GameCube, that Red did that you can see right here. The 2 strategy guides, because man, I love strategy guides. I love them.
I'm sure you don't need a Force Awakens one. Well, not Force Awakens. Oh, that Force one. The Star Killer. What's that? Force Unleashed. That's the one.
I've got it. I've got one.
You need 2, don't you?
Well, I've got 2. One's for the first game, one for the second game. But yeah, that was some cool pickups. And then, the Quake that I picked up this week, which was really cool. Really excited to play that.
Braden,
Hi.
what do you want to plug?
I will plug. We didn't do an episode this week because I've been sick and people have been busy. But next week, people can go over to Millennial Movie Talk, a movie and TV show podcast that I do with some of my mates. We will be doing a Barbenheimer episode.
Nice.
Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Have you seen both of those films?
I have seen both films.
Oppenheimer good?
I have one word for it, and this is a little
yes.
tease of talking about it more next week. I have one word for it, and it's compelling.
Oh.
I really want to see it.
I'm not much of a Nolan head. Like, I
get that.
The Batman ones were fine.
Yep.
Like,
he's competent.
yeah, and like, I don't even think I've really seen much of them, like any of his other films. It's not something that's been on my radar. It was legitimately so compelling. Like, really well done. Quite a long film, but that's all I'll say for now. Everyone should go see Barbie. Barbie's my favorite film of the year. It's, up there with Spider-Man. It's so good. Oh my god, everyone needs to see Barbie. It's freaking hilarious.
I want to see it.
Oh my god, it's great.
I went and saw Indiana Jones.
Yes, nice. Did see that. It was good fun.
It was fine. Yeah, it was good.
It was good fun.
It was better than Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Not hard.
Very. But otherwise, people can head over to Greenlight Comics, both the website and socials. Well, social media, I hate social media, but hey, you can go to Greenlight Comics social media and see Dan's wonderful face every week.
Oh, look at him.
Dan will take you through the new releases that we just got in on a Thursday.
Is he wearing a t-shirt from Evangelion?
Maybe. Sometimes he has like 4 different jumpers that he wears.
It just rotates through.
And yeah, you'll scroll through and you'll be like, there's the VHS, there's the Akira, and then you'll scroll down and you'll be like, there's the VHS, and there's the Akira, there's TerraVision, and there's the VHS.
Yes.
Friday the 13th makes appearance. But yeah, you can head over. We post all the cool stuff over there. I just did this little rundown of all the updates that happened to the blog. It's a good time in comics. There's too many good books coming out, and we finally got a sign on Rundle Mall, which is ridiculous that it took this long.
Didn't they used to tell you off for putting your sign out there?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep. I did get told by the bosses to stop bad-mouthing Rundle Mall, so I have no comment any further on that. But come to Greenlight Comics.
Well, Mr. Mall is
Where's the sign?
is an avid listener.
It's on Rundle Mall. So there's my center, there's City Cross, there's us.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, I thought I was looking for a whole sign. That was yours. Not
oh
name
no, they don't care about us. Okay, I'll stop.
And I have an Instagram account called Mr. Benjamin, where I post all my recent pickups. I recently went to IKEA and got a little shelving thing.
That thing looks sweet, man. That looks cool.
It's a little tray.
Metal Gear.
And I've got...
it's got wheels.
Yeah, it does. So I've got my chipped original Xbox in the bottom there, my chipped PS2 in the middle, and I have an AV plugged PlayStation, which I'm using as a CD player because I currently don't have one of them. So the other night I listened to the Metal Gear 3 soundtrack on my PlayStation while I was doing other things around my games room.
Some like good speakers.
Oh, it's pretty good coming out of those ones.
Is it out of the TV?
Ones. Yeah,
okay.
Comes through a TV. Pretty good because CD player and all. And then a couple of the other pickups that I have. I can't even remember what I've put on there. Oh yeah, my cards that I got for $2. I got that from Ghost Games. Mario's Fundamentals. It was part of that edutainment series that came out.
Fundamentals.
So now I've got Mario Teaches Typing and Mario's Fundamentals, which is a good time for everyone. Also got a bunch of turtle stuff because
You're high on that Turtles.
I am just collecting all my childhood stuff that I wanted as a kid. It's
Where
all
do
coming
you
here.
stand on your Dino Riders collection now? How complete are you going to go?
I'll pick it up every now and then. It's
complete
too
are
expensive. I'm nowhere near complete.
I mean, you are. You've got a lot.
I've got a lot, but none of them are 100%. Like all of them are missing 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece. What you can see there in the photo is I got given the chipped Xbox, but I had a faulty CD drive in it.
You did some surgery.
So I had to get the other Xbox I had in storage.
That's cool.
And just swap over the drives. So now my chipped one works, and the other one's going to King Kaiju, so he can do whatever he wants to it. Look at that. It's working.
I've seen
all
what
chipped.
he does to things.
But I've also got bad game arts where I put up all the worst video game art of the late 90s and early 2000s. And I put some up today and I put some up during the week because I forgot last time. And I thought, well, double whammy for you. So, Braden, if you will. First up here, we got Darken, which is a Super Nintendo game.
Is that a big penis with arms?
No, it's a big dragon, but he's totally showing the little red dragon how big his penis is.
Where is the little red dragon?
Right down.
Oh, yep.
That little red dragon. The big green dragon's going, check this out, buddy.
Yeah, wow.
And, yep, it's even got some Stonehenges on it. Next up, we had Kid Cool, the quest for the 7 Wonder Herbs.
He ain't cool.
And all I'm saying is that if your knee and ankle and foot are facing in those opposite directions...
Oh, man!
You've probably already found and smoked the 7 Wonder Herbs.
Not just that, you're also never going to walk again.
Like, really, look at that. So, Braden, you probably...
He's going to young Floppy.
You wouldn't have been here when Jazz is on. Jazz being an artist. Her and I have arguments about whether it's bad art or
Yeah,
not.
she defends it all.
She'll defend it and she'll go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just go, fuck off. That's awful.
That's terrible.
I've never heard you say fuck off to her.
Well, that's true. She's not here now, so I can pretend that I'm a cool guy.
I don't know if that's what cool guys do, man.
No, that's
Awful
That's
thing to do, actually.
spousal abuse.
I feel bad now. I will apologise. Here we go. You have to dodge the flying penises.
3D
as they're
tank.
fired at you. Doesn't that look compelling?
That looks awful.
And I don't know what's going on here.
What does that say?
For added realism, play this standing in water or in the bath.
In the butt?
I don't know.
Don't
What?
use your
That's
electronic
an
devices
advert.
in the bath.
Don't take PCs into the bath. Just don't. What game is it?
Worst things, and then really poorly, happen at sea.
Oh,
But it just looks like worst things sea.
worst things see happen at. That's horrible. Why would you play that in the bath?
It's the little known prequel to Stranger Things. Worst things.
Worst things.
You'll probably stay there till someone pulls the plug.
Oh, they kept going with the
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
pun.
And I think there was one more before this. Zybots. So I don't know what's happening to that guy's leg, but it's in fire.
Oh, yeah.
It's also facing weird ways. Whoa, is his crotch on fire?
No, I think his butt is. Oh, maybe there's an explosion coming out there. Exploding crotch. So if you've got an exploding crotch, kids, get that checked out.
I can't. It's like the top of him and the bottom of him are facing different directions.
He's also only got, there's nothing to show that he has another arm.
I like
it's
that just the
completely
random
covered.
leg and arm coming in from the robot on the other side too.
Yeah.
Well, he's a cool guy either way. So if you have that feel... Do you know what I like doing?
Kind of looks like Dash Render.
I'll be out looking at retro stuff, and sometimes I'll find some of these games, and part of me goes, "Oh, no, what are you doing, you idiot?"
As if you don't buy them.
I go, "Oh, I should buy that."
and then
you
sell
get
it to
that-
Michael Towns.
You get that thing. I get this with comics all the time. Like, I'll see the cover of something, and I'll think, oh, that cover's in my head. Like, it must be something that I'm looking for.
Yep.
And
then
then
you realise it's a
I
bad
really
game.
process, and I'm like, oh no, I saw that because someone was talking about how bad it was.
But we've been Hack the Dino. This has been our gaming cast. Past, present, future, video games, news, previews, discussions. I'd like to thank Braden for being here. Thank you, Braden.
Thank you, Braden.
Anytime.
I'd like to
Anto,
thank...
hope you get better.
I hope Anto has a cool time surfing the worldwide website on his keyboard surfboard, just cutting all the waves, downloading all the codes, all the nuclear codes. Anto's going to rule the world.
Wow.
He's going to hold everyone to ransom. You didn't think it, seriously, out of all the dinos, Anto's the least one who you'd think would be up for world domination, yeah?
I don't know. He plays a lot of Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
He
but
does.
he'd like to be the hero of that, not the
Oh,
villain.
yeah, true.
Well, I mean, villains always think themselves as the hero.
That is true. That is true. Unless you're me.
I reckon I'd probably be the least be amount for world domination. Sounds like a lot of work.
I mean, I reckon you're the sidekick, truly. You're the
rude.
affable... You're the lovable, affable sidekick.
So, am I Robin to the Batman?
No, you're the...
Or like the white guy to the Tick?
His name's Arthur.
I can't remember what his name was.
His name was Arthur.
He was the sidekick.
He's an accountant. Bit of respect for Arthur.
I'm not smart enough to be an accountant.
I'm easily the Vegeta, right?
I totally thought you were going to say something else then.